Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cupid Parasite, continuing Jupiter's route, obviously. So anyway, Jess found out Zeus exists, and he's Jupiter's twin brother, and Juno was in love with him, and she set him free, and then he ate her, basically. So anyway, sucked her power out, picking one, whatever you want to say. He basically, destroyed her for her power. I had to fix this sticker. It was driving me bonkers. Anyway, when I got back to my room, it was clear that nothing had changed. A simple room with almost nothing in it. I sat on my bed and breathed in the air of Celestia that I'd been missing. I haven't felt like this in so long. Returning to Celestia meant that my body regained its divine form. In other words, I don't have to sleep or eat anymore. I felt content before returning to Celestia, but I was saddened by how ephemeral it felt. I couldn't believe that Peter, or should I say Chi, has been Lord Jupiter this whole time. So I've been living with the god of all gods this whole time? You kissed him. You made out with the man. Would have been so much better if you slept with him. It would have been great. You should have been like, ah! He's like my boss! I recalled so many memories. We slept in the same bed and we took a bath together. Well, that terrified him, though. Not only that, we've been lovers for the past month. She just blushed. Oh, yeah, hi. The CG, where we just see the back of his head. So I've actually kissed Lord Jupiter. Also, he said that it was his first time. Although he was a notorious flirt in the myths. But that was probably Zeus. So are you familiar with this history of love affairs? What is history of love affairs? There are many myths surrounding Lord Jupiter, like how he turned into a swan to sneak into a woman's room, or when he appeared as rain. Those are all misunderstandings. Oh, really? Why would the Lord God be so risque? He wouldn't do such a thing. First of all, I'm no good with women. Our adorable, awkward nerd. That's what he said last time. Judging by his reaction, all of those stories were actually about Zeus. But Lord Jupiter's been around for eons. Was it really his first kiss? I mean, it was extremely surprising. I can't believe someone who had lived dozens of times longer than me having no experience with love. Oh, that was your first time too? But considering the sensitive parasite himself, it made sense. Peter couldn't hold a proper conversation and always ran away from ladies other than myself at Cupid Corporation. The sensitive parasite who fled at the first sign of danger. The disconnect between his true identity and his nickname suddenly clicked. Most of the gods were offspring of Kronos and his wife, Rhea. Although they're related, they couldn't have been more different. Fearing a prophecy that his children would someday kill him, Kronos swallowed all of his newborns. Jupiter was the only one to escape this fate. His mother, Rhea, tricked Kronos into swallowing a stone instead to protect her child. And then Jupiter was hidden away somewhere in the human realm, left to be raised by nymphs. Once he matured, he set out to save his siblings. Your story matches up with the myth humans tell. Right. And Jupiter was reminded each day by the nymphs that, were he to be discovered, Kronos would eat him. From this he developed a shrewd sense for danger, although he's the Lord God. I thought Chi was astounded by his master and said so at the time, but that was all about himself. Wait, Didn't Lord Kronos... I recalled what I learned in Professor Giordano's... Now it's Giordano's instead of Giordano's. They spelled it totally wrong this time. Anyway, lectures. I think I'm right. Lord Jupiter made Lord Kronos take something to regurgitate Lord Jupiter's siblings and... And Zeus, or Lord Jupiter maybe, escaped that fate and hid out in Crete. And it was Lord Jupiter who managed to free his siblings. And that's how the gods banded together to defeat Kronos. And this event was called the Titanomachy. Is that what it's called? Titanomachy? Oh yeah, Lord Jupiter took command of them and they defeated Kronos together. This occurred in the myth that took place ages before I was born. I've never experienced it. So I don't know if that Jupiter was actually Zeus or Lord Jupiter. I've always thought there were too many stories about him, but I never knew that there were two gods this whole time. Huh. First of all, when was I even born? At least I've never seen Zeus before, so I think I'm under 2500. In Hesiodus's Theogony, it said that Eros was born first, but that's a concept of love and not me. I'll lose my sense of time if I stay in Celestia and I don't remember any details. I should have listened to Professor Giordano's lectures more carefully. I like how Giordano is now instead of Giordano, which is what it was before. Now they've totally changed it. If I had, I could have remembered the story of Cupid's birth, and it just seems way too close to be two different teachers. Lost in contemplation, I heard footsteps from outside my room. Hi, Eros! Welcome back, my precious daughter! Mom! Venus, goddess of beauty and the goddess who played the role of my mother, entered the room. I haven't seen Mom since that matching party. How have you been, Mom? Just wonderful. Actually, I was planning a vacation in Lost York. But since I heard that my precious daughter came back to Celestia, so I quickly dropped by. But since I heard that my precious daughter came back to Celestia, it should be I quickly dropped by, not so. She looks sad. Thanks, Mom. And how was it? Did you have fun in the human realm? Yes, very much. By the way, did you know that the divine beast I was hanging... By the way, do you know who that divine beast I was hanging with was, Mom? That really phrased weird, but... Oh, it seems like Jupiter was busted. Of course, Mars and I knew, but I think we're the only ones who knew. Since Jupiter's so earnest, he didn't tell me either, but I know everything Mars knows. Mom smiled glamorously. Seems like Dad's still under her thumb. Well, it's funny because Mars was like, take this with you, knowing it was Jupiter and being like, God damn it. I see. Then Lord Jupiter didn't tell this to anyone except for Dad. It's impossible for the god of all gods to be gone from Celestia for a long time. I think this is the first time since Gigantomachia. Gigantomachia? Was that the battle between the Titan Gigas and the gods, including Lord Jupiter? Jupiter sure is overprotective of you, since you were in heaven. Heaven? Heaven. That's where the angels live. And the angels are those who take orders from gods and bring good luck to the human realm. The DC are the only gods who can use the angels, so a Cupid like me has never been there before, but... I was in heaven? Oh dear! Was this something I shouldn't tell you? I thought Jupiter already told you this if he was busted. If Jupiter hasn't told you about this yet, then I shouldn't either. Sorry, Eros, but you should ask him directly. Her pouty face. Mom smiled playfully with her finger on lips. But it won't be long before you find out the truth, so you don't have to be impatient or anxious. And there's no doubt that you're my precious daughter, and Jupiter really thinks highly of you. The rules are that the god of all gods must not talk to anyone except the DC and his messengers, or it'll lead to disorder. But didn't Jupiter sometimes talk to you when no one was looking? Oh, yeah. That very first time he's like, hey. And then he walked away. Cupid, what's the matter? Oh, we're just flashing back to when he'd randomly talk to us. When I was troubled or worried about something, Lord Jupiter used to talk to me directly. Since he talked with Dad and Mom quite often, I thought that was normal, but... Speaking of which, I remember some gods telling me that the god of all gods barely spoke except to the DC. Someone else told me that originally there's no way he would talk to a mere Cupid. But why? I wanted to ask him, but Lord Jupiter wasn't around me now. At this rate, he'll come to see me several days from now, because he's the god of all gods and I'm just a mere Cupid. In Celestia, I wasn't even allowed to hold his audience. He's the greatest god, unlike me, a lesser one. Originally, there was no way Jupiter and Cupid could talk like that. She's like, I really miss him as Peter now. Aww. Listening to the Divine Soldier's reports, I was distracted by thoughts of her. She's in her room right now, with Venus, I guess. The ability that only I, the god of all gods, have. The ability to locate other divine artifacts. This can be said to be the extension of my ability to sense danger. This power is the reason why I became the god of all gods. I'm sure a different god should have been in this position. As I listened to the divine soldier's reports, I summoned rain upon the earth, blow the wind, and search for the source of the danger. However, I couldn't confirm where it was coming from. I could only feel the strong, murderous intention and resentment. I've made a barrier to protect Celestia. I'm sure no one will be able to enter, but I've just called the DC, so after all of them arrive, I must take measures immediately. But they're all around the world now. It'll probably take time for all of them to arrive. From what I feel, I could tell that Neptune's currently working in an oceanic area near Australia. And Minerva, I'm not sure where she is right now either. Hey, you're fine, buddy! He's down there, like, screaming. You're fine! You talk to your little bird friend. I'll be down soon. Lord Jupiter, this is an emergency! The divine artifacts! Juno's divine artifacts have returned! I see. Finally. Understood. I'll go at once. Yeah, gotta make me your bride. I get to wear a wedding dress. Could you imagine? You're like, now, Juno, you have to wear this divine artifact, which is a wedding dress. So I have to prance around in a fancy ball gown for eternity? Yeah, cool. All right. I followed the divine soldier and verified that they were indeed Juno's. And they lay there like someone's remains. Juno. So she has disappeared at last. So she's disappeared at last. He doesn't seem very sus. He's like, good. Bitch. She let my brother loose. Juno. So she's disappeared. I guess I didn't click it. I touched the divine artifacts and closed my eyes to mourn over the passing of the goddess of marriage. Okay, well, that's good of you. She loved Zeus wholeheartedly. Even when she was rejected, she always loved him. She was opposed to his actions for a long time. Like, okay, he rejected her, and she's still... Girl, self-respect! I cannot make anyone happy. And though I'm the god of all gods, That's not true, you make me happy. These hands of mine are so useless. But I must still move forward. They're not useless. They feel very nice when wrapped around me. Look! I'm turning this wildly inappropriate, but come on. If only the people had no need for the gods. However, the order of the world was established a long time ago. From chaos came Earth. Anyway, I must complete my duty and see her at once. Just to make her Juno. No. I just want to see her. Good. He's like, just to make her Juno, but also because I love her. I want to see her innocent smile. That's all I need. And that's all I need to fulfill my role as the god of all gods. All we have to do is smile at you, and then you're gonna man up. That's awesome. I love it. Good for you, baby! Good for you! Pats him on head. A little time had passed since we came back to Celestia. I wonder how Lord Jupiter's doing. With nothing to do, I laid down on my bed and waited for Lord Jupiter to come. Sitting around is so boring. I'd usually matchmake using my Cupid's bow, but since Lord Jupiter told me not to, I have nothing to do. Heaven, huh? I still had what Mom told me in my head. If I recall, there was a door to heaven in my room. Since I was instructed not to open it, I had no real need to see what was on the other side. But if it's not a forbidden place, it's natural for me to be curious about it. So I could go there, right? It's interesting. It's my room. There's a door to heaven there. Don't touch it. Then why is it in my room? It's like there's a closet in your room. Don't use it. It's not for you. Am I just visiting here? I mean, technically, you're just a long-term visitor. I made excuses to myself and sat up on my bed. And then we're going to have a conversation with Jupiter in there, and he's going to confess his love and make us Juno, and everything's going to be fine. You should make us Juno before we die. I'm just saying now. I walked quietly, confirming that nobody was looking, and arrived at the front of the door to heaven. But if it's in your room, why do you have to sneak there? Only the DC are allowed to open this door. Will I be punished for entering it? But I'm so curious. I want to see. In that moment, I heard footsteps behind me. It's Jupiter. Cupid, were you thinking of entering through that door? When I turned around, I found Lord Jupiter. Oh, he's not wearing his mask, and he's so pretty when he's pensive and sad. His little sad face is so beautiful. Stop it. Oh, no. Oh, what? Oh, no. Come to think of it, Lord Jupiter can sense the location of all other gods. I hesitated to say I wanted to enter the door, so I shook my hands repeatedly. Oh, I was just on a walk, tired of staying in my room doing nothing. I quickly took my eyes off the door, and Lord Jupiter let out a small sigh as if he was relieved. I see. Has anything changed for you? No, nothing. I see. And that's nice to hear. We both didn't know how to break the ice, and we both stood still. Silence lingered, then awkward. Cupid. We spoke at the same time, and we both froze. And then we burst out laughing at the same time. Aw. Lord Jupiter scratched his head and took my hand. Cupid, wait. Should I call you what you went by in the human realm? Actually, that'd be sexy. I was also wondering if I should call you Peter or Lord Jupiter. Just call me Jupy. We're Cupid and Jupy. It's so cute. Okay, never mind. I take that back. That's going to make me vomit. Isn't chi an option? Can it be an option? When I asked him, he gave a wry smile and shook his head. No, call me Jupiter when I'm in this form. Also, you don't have to add Lord. Just call me Jupiter. Are you fine with me calling you... Oh, so are you fine with me calling you Jupiter? That's what he literally just said twice. Just call me Jupiter. You don't have to call me Lord. Just Jupiter. So are you fine with me calling you Jupiter? What the fuck? When I tilted my head, Lord Jupiter turned red in an instant. It's more like, you're fine with me calling? I think it should have been phrased a little different, but... yeah, that's great. By the way, I want you to do me a favor. Become Juno and be my wife. A favor? Yes, I want you to... Oh god, we're gonna get interrupted. Jupiter opened and closed his mouth repeatedly. It seemed a favor that was difficult to ask. I've waited for him for a while, but it seemed like he would never speak. Chi? Chi. A weak voice like Chi's doesn't match Lord Jupiter's divine appearance at all. I burst out laughing at the irony. I never knew that you were so shy, Jupiter. The majestic god of all gods, who stood at the top of all gods, was just a big softy. Yeah, it's kind of adorable. I wonder how many other gods had seen him like this. As I recalled how Dad spoke of Jupiter, I suspected that even the DC didn't know. Hey, Jupiter? I thought that Dad would be furious about this, but I put my hand on Jupiter's cheek. I want to know more about you. Can you tell me more? What do you mean, more about me? Because I only found out that you were Jupiter when we came back to Celestia, so I want to know even more. I know many things about you as Chi and Peter, but I still don't know anything about you as Jupiter, so I want you to tell me. I want to know what you're thinking, why you followed me and why you watched me when I was in heaven, and why I was in heaven. Why do you know? I heard from Mom that I came from heaven. This sounds like something. Mommy said I came from heaven because you wanted a baby. It sounds like something you would tell a kid. You were brought by the stork. Mommy wanted a baby, so she went to heaven. And got one. You're an angel. You know what I mean? It's so funny. It's just the phrasing is kind of funny. But I don't remember being there. Could you explain it to me? As I touched the door to heaven and smiled, Jupiter looked conflicted and shook his head a little. If I do, you might hate me. I'd hate you more for hiding it from me. It's unfair that you know more about me than I do myself. I told him to tell me with my eyes, and Jupiter looked down sadly. Yes, it's unfair indeed. I'm sorry, but still, I don't want you to hate me. But the god of all gods is made to be hated. And also, you'll soon find out if you become Juno. Jupiter let out a sigh and looked at me with a determined face. Did she miss that part? I think you should see it for yourself. Do you want to see heaven? Really? Yes, I can open the door to heaven. You should see it for yourself. How things were in heaven. He's like, I made it a rule that we stop doing this, by the way, after you, because I felt bad. She's like, huh? I'm like, so Alan's my soulmate, technically. Yeah, I mean... The sensitive parasite is serious? Jupiter and I traveled to heaven together. Wow. The pale sky sparkled like crystals in a pattern that took my breath away. Witnessing this pink sky was a true marvel. Incredible! I knew heaven was beautiful, but this is something else. You don't remember, do you? I mean, part of me feels some nostalgia here, but the details are fuzzy. Can we just, look at his outfit? You're so pretty. Look at you. Oh, you're bedazzling. I love a man with flair. I see. Jupiter winced quietly to himself. It hurt to see his reaction. Hey, Jupiter, if I lived here, does that mean I was an angel? Yes. When you were an angel, you were selected to become the next Cupid, and thus you ascended to Celestia. Oh, really? How weird. I can't recall a thing. I do. Clearly. I remember how you looked as an angel and when you were chosen. Lost in reverie, Jupiter walked a few paces from me with determination. I sensed fear in his voice, as if he was afraid of divulging a troublesome revelation. You were naturally curious, emotionally intuitive, and had angelic beauty. At first, it was proposed that you'd become Nike, but Nikes are prone to short lifespans, so I requested that you be made Cupid. He furrowed his brow at me forlornly, taking a moment to pause before speaking. You had a smile that could melt the sun, making it hard for me to tear my eyes from you, even as an angel. It's, really hard, because now it's this is so, romantically beautiful, even though you weren't romantically in love with us, but, kind of you were, but I don't think you knew it. And then, then you're but poor Alan was, our twin soul. It's, a really weird place to be, and you're and then poor Raoul just needs to be, we just need to have this quadruple, whatever, the square relationship. It's not a love triangle, it's a love square, but we all in it. It's a triangle of men that I'm just in the middle of, okay? I'm happy with this. They'll be fine with it. Those are my terms. Everybody get on board. Good. I must say it impressed me to see you speak as Cupid for the first time. It truly was a match made in heaven. As Cupid for the first time. That phrase seemed to unlock a particular memory. Cupid, this is your divine artifact. This is Cupid's bow. Use the golden arrow to imbue your target with love. The leaden arrow does the opposite. Only you can use this power. Wow, amazing! She's never spoken before, and her first words are, wow! Wow! I remember that. I remember you gasping like you were surprised, Jupiter. Do you? Yeah, I remember worrying that I might have done something bad. I see. So you were just surprised by my voice. So you were just surprised by my voice! He's yeah, you're prettier when you shut your face. Usually me. Forgive me. You were promoted to Cupid at the behest of the gods. You may not know this, but the DC, we select candidates for the demigods, like Cupid and Nike, from the pool of angels in heaven. When they disappear, we pick another. Huh? When they disappear, they pick another what? What do you mean by disappear? This is a secret in Celestia known only by the DC. Gods expend a lot of energy, and because the original Cupid and the other gods were no more, we began to entrust the divine artifacts to angels. But using divine artifacts comes at a great cost. If your life force becomes too depleted, then you'll disappear. So you've been filling vacant roles for the gods with angels? Correct. All gods except for the DC are expected to expire. We keep that knowledge hidden from them until it's too late. I mean, on one hand you're wow, douche! But on the other hand, you're yeah, I don't know if I'd want to know. Oh, hey, by the way, as a human, you're someday you're going to die. Okay. But otherwise, hey, hi, angel, welcome. You're now a demigod. Oh, by the way, at some point, you're just going to poof out of existence. Huh? I guess humans deal with that. One day you're just going to cease to exist. Oh, okay. So just keep doing your job. for eternity until you die. Oh, yeah, no, that basically sounds like humans. We just know we're going to die someday. So, okay. No, I guess maybe you should tell them. Expected to expire until it's too late. I felt like I had the wind knocked out of me. Don't hate him, though. She's going to get mad at him, isn't she? I wanted nothing more than to believe it was all some sick joke, but I knew that it was true. If it were a ruse, Jupiter wouldn't have looked like he was on the verge of tears, defeated by his own well-kept secret. Plus, part of me was suspicious about Psyche, about Apollo and Danae. I had no relationship with any of the other gods. I always wondered why so many myths about me circulated despite not remembering them. Now I know. Those myths weren't about me. Those were about a different Cupid, or cupids. Hey, Jupiter, how much time do I have left? As of now, about a year. A year? I've lived a whole lifetime. At the university, I was surprised to learn that I'd existed since the Middle Ages. It bewildered me that I had outlasted humans, not by decades, but by centuries. Part of me thought that I'd lived a nice, full life, but I wasn't ready to give it up yet. I've only just begun to truly know what it means to live. But I won't let you disappear. There's still a chance we can do something to prevent it. Firstly, I've discovered that we can replenish your life force if you fire off leaden arrows rather than golden ones, so I've enlisted Alan's help. Huh? Leaden arrow? Oh, like the time I shot those customers at Pillow Luxuria? Yes, thanks to that you restored quite a bit of energy. That bought us some time. Oh, also, if you become the next Juno, you'll never die. So, she put on her dress. Phew, that's a relief. But was it really? I can't be Cupid unless I can make couples. If I only fired leaden arrows instead of golden arrows, then I wouldn't be the goddess of love. I'd be the opposite, actually. The thought reminded me of a shrine I'd read about somewhere in Japan. They enshrined a Cupid infamous for sowing romantic discontent. But why Professor Melville? Isn't he a demon? An incubus at that? So, this is the part where you might get mad. Wait, you lying to me about being an angel that you took and kidnapped and were gonna, suck away my life force without telling me wasn't the bad part? Gets worse? Fuck! Well, now you know what it feels like to be human, pats on head. Just when you think it's bad, it gets worse. My questions seemed to stir panic in Jupiter. Because the two of you are an angelic pair. What? We wanted so badly for you to become Cupid that we made the decision for you, and thus we decided to separate you from your other half. It wasn't me, it was Mercury! That son of a bitch! Jupiter grimaced in shame and took my hands. He trembled as he dropped to his knees. Aw, I bet he's not proposing, though. I know, I'm undeserving of your forgiveness, but you cannot imagine how much I regret it. Once Mercury selects an angel to become a god, however, it cannot be undone. Not even I can reverse it. Your paired angel attempted to follow you, which violated the code. For that, he was exiled and made into a demon. It's all my fault. Not really, it's kind of Mercury's fault. I've held on to this regret for ages. I'm sorry. So very, very sorry. Jupiter curled his wings against his back like he did in his chi form, apologizing to me as if it caused him physical anguish. At this point, I couldn't recall belonging to a pair as an angel, but something about being in this realm seemed to suspend my disbelief. If we really were born as a pair, we must have been inseparable, like family. Is that how Professor Melville became who he is today? It boggled my mind to think of him any other way. I saw no connection, at least not on the surface, but that was proof of how long it had been. Losing his other half must have devastated him. Oh, kind of did. This route. That much I knew. Even if Cupid was always promoted from angels, and even if I didn't have much time left, I alone was lucky enough to feel the love from the community of gods in my time as Cupid. Thanks, Jupiter. Even though it was tough to hear, I'm glad I heard it from you. I patted the top of Jupiter's head, prompting him to look upward with eyes full of tears. Oh my god, just kiss the man, goddammit. But You're so thoughtful, even as the god of all gods. Gods maintain the order which ensures harmony for all mankind. It's natural to want cupids to help facilitate that too. You did nothing wrong. I'm willing to bet that being in your position means making tough sacrifices all the time. She's so good, because most people be like, I mean, I know it's not really your fault, but I'm still mad. She's like, I mean, that had to be fucking hard. You've got to make hard fucking decisions. And okay. But you've always looked out for me, a mere angel, and I'm grateful for it. Plus, you came down with me to the human realm, all to make sure I was okay. So thanks, Jupiter. Now kiss, goddammit. Spacey, why are you so perfect? Yeah. I know it's hard, right? Tears began to stream down his cheeks as if released from his blue irises themselves. I think it's funny, released from his blue, but she said golden eyes in one other part. Well, it's because he has a gold eye and a blue eye, but like, anyway. But suddenly, his left eye glimmered gold. It's actually his right eye, which is funny. Jupiter, the Lord God, bawled before me. Jupiter, it's his right eye. It's on our left. Well, now both of his eyes are gold. Okay, no, you can't do this. I like the heterochromia thing. You can't take it away from him. But it's still a pretty CG. I'm not gonna lie. But like, I'm just disappointed with this. But because of the eye thing. But like, oh, he looks so shocked. And he's such a precious little sensitive thing, isn't he? Oh. As I took him into my arms, I could feel his body shake from the weight of that guilt. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cry, but I just can't stop. You're just so nice to me. I'm always here for you. Never forget. But I'm the Lord God. That means I have to be as strong, if not stronger, than all the other gods. Hey, do the other gods know that people call you the sensitive parasite? No, I don't think so. Except for my brother. See? You spent a long time dealing with adversity. All by yourself. I didn't deal with anything. What kind of god snivels at the first sign of danger? No god worthy of my title, that's for sure. Oh, I mean, you are kind of useless, but it's okay. Listen, tuxedo man. Look, he's like the angel mask. Because he wears the mask, but he doesn't wear a tuxedo. He's like, you're the god mask? Like, of this game. Like, you really are. I am here. Oh, God, it's Jupiter. He's kind of useless. He's not going to end up being. They're just, like, setting you up for, like, when he does something amazing for you not to be like, well, duh, you're fucking Jupiter. You should be amazing. You're going to be like, see? We knew you were, sweetie. It's brilliant. But I, being the Lord God, was raised in the human realm, and look what it cost me. It made me weak and pathetic. Yeah. Doesn't it disappoint you to see me like this? You think I'm pathetic, don't you? No, we're a little sad, but sometimes you're a little pathetic, but it's kind of cute and we like it. We're here for it. But this is who I am. Just a pathetic, sensitive parasite. It's sad. I'll never live up to what others expect of me. I already know all that about you. I mean, who's the one who flew around with ketchup on his face? Not to mention all those times I saw you duck under a desk or the bed. Well, that's... But more importantly, I've seen you at your best, too. Remember when you tried hiding your face with your stubby paws during our bath? Well, that was because you forced me to take a bath. Yep, but you did it for my sake so that you wouldn't see me naked, right? It's like, I mean... Also, before and after you were shot by the Cupid's bow, you've always protected me. It was sometimes too much, though. You've always watched me. You never ran away alone. Thanks, Jupiter, for staying by my side, for always watching me. And he's like, and I kind of fell in love with you. By the way, the Cupid's bow. The Cupid's bow thing wore off, but like, I still want to kiss you. For God's sakes, fucking kiss me. Spacey. Yes, you're the only one I can think of. Please be my... Yes? All around us, heaven shook from a mighty commotion as if the sky had been ripped apart. God damn it! Why are we always getting cock-blocked? And it's not because we were going to get kissed or laid. We were going to get asked to be Juno. Be my Juno. Was I like your wife? Okay. It was kind of like a proposal in a way. So like, we were about to be asked to become Juno. God damn it, Zeus. Fuck off here. God. You know what always happens. Several angels fluttered about in confusion, sending the realm into chaos. What was that? I scanned the sky, trying to think of where the source of the sound came from, but another thunderous boom cracked through the sky. He's like, I don't have protection on heaven. Get out. Ah! Spacey! Jupiter grabbed hold of me reflexively. There was something authoritative about his aura all of a sudden, making it hard to believe he was sobbing mere seconds ago. Yeah, you don't fuck with his lady. No way. It can't be. There's a hole in the barrier. Don't tell me it's Zeus. And maybe. Anyway, we must return to Celestia. Right. What did you want me to be, by the way? No time for that! But Juno. Kind of like my wife. Woo! Wow, it's purple clouds in here. We flung open the door and arrived back in Celestia. It looked nothing like how we left it. Crumbled bits of wall were scattered across the celestial ground. Gods scrambled about to flee to safety. This is kind of like when Gil busted through here in Bumblepig. But, like, a lot less funny. As if things couldn't be worse, there were manticores all over the place. What are they doing here? They've been manipulated by Zeus. Can't believe how quickly he's acted. We need to get out of here. Jupiter took my hand and spun around to flee. Where should we go? No, not that way. Not this way either. They're everywhere. The sensitive parasite jumped out of Jupiter. His eyes shifted back and forth, panicking at the mayhem as it unfolded. Shortly after, however, a hole appeared in the barrier right next to where we stood. This is where you grab him, kiss him, and you're like, man the fuck up! Slap him. Kiss him again because you slapped him. Look out! Jupiter protectively got in front of the blast, shielding me from the debris that rocketed toward us. Jupiter scrunched his face in pain, but held his position. I was so comforted by the tightness of his embrace, knowing he'd saved me from the blast. Jupiter, let's go! Let go! I'm fine! I'm a god too! I'm a god too, so it doesn't hurt at all. With the corner of his lips, he flashed a half-hearted grin, knowing well that he couldn't take another one of those hits. I didn't believe for a second that gods couldn't feel pain. They were still living beings, after all. Just because their wounds heal faster than a human's doesn't mean it doesn't hurt to take a blast head-on. I knew emergencies weren't his forte, but when it mattered most, his courage shone through. As a cloud of dust cleared behind us, I spotted a manticore making its way to us. Stay back, you! Jupiter adjusted his stance, making sure to position me behind him as he faced the creature. I won't let you lay a finger on her. Chi, who was usually the first to escape from troubling situations by hiding, is now challenging a fearsome beast. Okay, but like now he's in like his Jupiter form, so it's different. He's got slightly more balls than has Chi. Slightly, not much. Jupiter's arm shot upward, and in his empty hand appeared a spear. It was Jupiter's legendary weapon, the Thunderbolt, or Coronos? We're gonna go with that. Ha! Ha ha! Anyway, he waved the spear menacingly at the oncoming manticore, summoning a bolt of lightning to strike the beast. You know what's funny, though? He seemed to have a lot of fucking stones when he was kicking Alan's ass. I'm just saying. It's gone, because they didn't want you to know how, like, when you... Although, you kind of knew... You knew that Peter was the secret route, and then when you started, it's like, start Jupiter's route, and you're like, oh, so if you hadn't connected that Peter and Jupiter were the same fucking person, which it was kind of obvious at one, not like the first time you see Peter, but there's like that second or third time, and you're like, wait, oh, if you didn't already know, it would have ruined it then. But if they hadn't said that, you're like, oh, okay, we're going down Peter's route, and then you're like, okay, and then you're like, wait, Peter's Jupiter, you know what I mean? Like... I guess they weren't really trying to hide that. They're like, someone will figure it out pretty fast. I wonder how fast everyone figured out Jupiter was Chi. Or if people had no fucking clue. Did you have no clue where you're like, what? Or like, did you stupidly like me go like, wouldn't it be funny if Jupiter was Chi? That'd be hilarious. And then like, when it was the truth, it just was funnier. I don't know, I'm curious. It's gone! Well, the bolt of lightning seemed to work in fending off the first manticore. A second quickly appeared in its place. Time to fry some manticore. No, wait. It wasn't a manticore. It was something else entirely with a wide wingspan which cast a great shadow over all of Celestia. With my naked eye, it slightly resembled a giant eagle, but with a different body. That's my brother's divine beast. Where in the world did it... And Jupiter's divine beast is Chi. Well, he doesn't have his own divine beast. He is his own divine beast, and it's a cute, cowardly little thing. Lovely. That way, Spacey! You stay here and hide. I'll go reinforce the barrier. Oh, Jupiter! I just stood there and watched him run. I can't believe that's really Chi. But here he was, unfazed by the looming threat. That's the Lord God I've heard about. He's doing it to protect you. Well, and Celestia. Cupid! Where's Lord Jupiter? It's your time to shine, Dad! We're at war! This way, Dad! I couldn't just run and hide, especially if my dad, Mars, the god of war, was with us. I had hope. I mean, he's the god of war, so he's made for this. I stuck close with Dad as we tailed Jupiter's path. He led us to Auntie's room. Hey now! What's going on? Why are there eagles flying out of my room? We caught Auntie in the middle of a skirmish with the eagles, which were relentless in their forced entry. Sorry. What's with this door? Minerva, don't tell me you're keeping a portal to the human realm here! Get it, Jupiter! Save the lecture for later! Minerva, out of my way! I must destroy the portal! Dad gripped his axe with both hands, charging up his strength before kicking at the ground. Behold the power of Mars, the god of war! Ha! Okay, this is gonna hurt me too. The force of his swing summoned a violent gust that swept past everything in sight, including Auntie's collection. Oh no! My precious artifacts! Dust whipped up into the air, obscuring everything in sight. Did that work? Still clutching his axe, Dad stepped forward tepidly. However... Mars, stay back! Oh no! Another eagle shot through the dust cloud, striking Dad in the back with its razor-sharp talons. You better not kill my dad! I don't think I can handle that! Dad! This injury is nothing! I mean, the man's got scars all over. I'm pretty sure he can handle it. It should heal at once. However... It's not healing? Because this is my divine beast. I enabled it to harm the gods. The divine beast before us spoke, albeit with a different voice, as if it were a puppet. Its eyes glistened like a mad predator's. Oh, don't you dare kill my dad, you motherfucker. Light bounced off its scale-like feathers in a phosphorescent glow, as if it was delivered from the sky itself. What? In that voice, it can't be. Zeus. Zeus! He's supposed to be sealed away. Too right you are. Because of you all, I was forced to slumber for 2.5 millennia. Zeus's voice is all over the place, but what else? Even now I still require the aid of my divine beast. What a bother. However, at long last I have returned, with all credit due to my beloved wife. Juno, I knew it. Zeus, you devoured her, didn't you? Juno! You're right. What a relief. I've been worried sick about you. I just had to get back here to see you, which is why I went through the trouble of breaking your seal. Because you're everything to me. Let's do it like we used to, for old time's sake. What a waste of breath. She willingly sacrificed herself all for me. Her loss. I've outgrown love. I was like, is he saying this? I'm very confused. This is amazingly weird, though. Hold on. Yeah, Juno, yeah, you're right. What a relief, I've been worried sick about you. I just had to get back here to see you, which is why I went through the trouble of breaking your seal. Because you're everything to me. Let's do it like we used to, for old time's sake. Like, obviously he was saying what Juno said, but like, I wish there had been quotes around that, because I got very confused, and I was like, what a waste of breath. I was like, okay. I clued in, but like, fuck, that was awkward. I'm like, you're saying that to your brother? Or are you talking to Minerva? Because she ain't into you, bro. She's trying to steal my other boyfriend. And for my next trick, I'll be absorbing your powers. What should I do after I devour you? I know. I'll conquer the human realm and use them as pawns for my bidding. Zeus has gotten to be a little bit of a dramatic bitch. I don't know what I'm doing here, but it's fun. But not before I demolish every false church I find. I am the true Alpha and the only Omega. I alone claim dominion. Everything belongs to me. The universe wills it. Humanity has no need for free will in my universe. I kind of love this bitch. Like, you're a psycho! I love it! You belong perfectly in this game. You are trash. Welcome aboard. Choo-choo! The trash train. Zeus, I won't let you... Got that right. Like, would never let you stick your nose where it doesn't belong. Dad swung wildly at the divine beast, but it sidestepped nimbly away, hopping onto a shelf in Auntie's bedroom. You could never kill me. Now, divine beast, devour the gods and give me strength! I'm sorry, that was too much fun. Oh, we're getting a little overdramatic here, but like, whatevs. With Zeus's command came dozens of smaller eagles flying through the portal. The biggest one shot into the sky, circling Celestia with its companions. Oh no, they're going right for the other gods. Minerva, close the portal! It's broken, so they can still get in from the other side. We have to destroy it. Let me smash it here and now! Huh. Dad took another swing at the portal, but it hardly made a dent. What's this? My axe isn't cutting through. What's the meaning of this, Minerva? Just what is this made of? Well, I wanted it to be perfect, so I made sure it could withstand anything we threw at it. Honestly, it's some of my finest work. Like hell it is. Zeus got through because of cracks in the wall, and now he's here. So help me break this thing already. I can't. I don't know anything strong enough to penetrate its material. Oh, damn! Don't come in! Don't ruin my room anymore! This is hopeless. Minerva, Mars, I'm leaving the portal to you. We'll go after Zeus. No doubt he's fled to the underworld. He sends an ominous presence gaining in power from down there. But if he's not there, then he hasn't fully regained his strength, and there's still time to seal him again. Jupiter spoke decisively, but I could see his anxiety peeking through as he clutched his arms. He seemed more eager to bury his head in the sand and get out of sight. Now, I'll take my leave. Cupid, find a safe place to hide. I'm counting on you, Mars and Minerva. Without another word, Jupiter fled the room. I wasted no time chasing after him. I'm gonna go hide in the human realm, it'll be fine. Wait, Jupy. In my pursuit, I found myself at the entrance to the human realm at the Advent Tree. There I saw him hanging his head in front of the cave. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, can I defeat Zeus? No one else can do it but me. Then count me in. Cupid, didn't I tell you to hide? Hide where? I'm not staying in Celestia. I'm better off following you. Also, we can totally get everyone to help. I bet anything Gil made a bumble pig, like a robot car, and he can kick Zeus's ass. I'm just saying. You're scared, aren't you, Chi? Well, yes, but he's like, duh. It's like, have you met me? Zeus is powerful enough to kill any god who opposes him. I wouldn't dare take you to him. I must go alone. But look at you! Chi! As I impressed upon him the reality of how he felt, Jupiter slumped his shoulders. I like him, he's like, I have to go alone. But look at you, you're pathetic! What the fuck? This is not the pep talk he needs, sweetie. He cast his stare down at his feet. I'm the Lord God, so I must go. So there's no need for you to go too. You need moral support. I won't get in the way. I've got a weapon too, you know. But what if it can't harm Zeus? I don't think you know just how scary he is. But two's better than one, isn't it? Jupiter shifted his eyes as I grabbed his hand. I felt him tremble in my grip, and he kept his eyes fixed on the ground. Besides, if we're going to go out, I'd like to go out together. I'm so sorry for being so worthless. I only want to protect those I love, but I'm nothing but a burden to them. I hate to admit how badly I need you beside me, but at the same time, I can't risk endangering you. How do I reconcile those feelings? A desire to protect with strong attachment. I couldn't pin my finger on it, but I did my best to imagine myself in his shoes. If my days as a human were any indication, it was love. Fraternity, Storg. Love that's forged in the fire of friendship. It's calm, assured, and depends on secure attachment. I was unsure if this qualified as a congenial kind of love or just affection. But I knew that Jupiter was capable of both, so I smiled at him. If we don't get to, actually marry and have a real romance with this man after we made that makeout session and the whatever, I'm gonna be really fucking mad. I feel the same way, Jupiter. I want to see you safe too, but I can't even think about leaving you. If we're on the same page, then we can cover twice as much ground. That's much better than doing it alone. What do you say? I held his hand and smiled. Jupiter was silent for a while, but... Gee. He let out a silent cry and nodded. Fucking adorable. Gee. Gee! I just want to imagine every time he's like, gee! And you're like, really? Parasite 5 Ensemble! It should be assemble, but it's ensemble, but... Then we escaped from the burning Celestia to head for the underworld, where we suspected Zeus was waiting for us. However... Not long after setting foot in the underworld, the both of us were consumed by an agonizing pain. I can't go any further. We hit an invisible wall, making it impossible for us to pass. I can't... Pluto's not here either. What do we do? We must fall back. Pluto's not there. Oh no! Did he eat Pluto/Hades? Who I just imagine looks like the Hades in Kamigami no Wasabi. Because, he'd be pretty in this. I'm just saying. Right! They also didn't ever give Pluto, a sprite. And there's a reason why they didn't. Because if they did, he'd have been hot. And we'd have been like, can I date him too? Why is he not the secret character? We made it back to the human realm by the skin of our teeth and collapsed to the ground. I never knew there was a barrier down there, too. But I was right. I felt him down there. He's getting stronger. No doubt he's had his fill of gods, biding his time. Gee, it's done. And the world's ending. Jupiter lowered his head in defeat. The sensitive parasite had reared itself once more. Hey! Are you giving up right now? I've never won against him. I'm just his shadow. He's the strongest one, the one people revere. Oh, he's the strong one. Okay, sorry. My brother's the one who ate Metis, the goddess of wisdom, which allowed him to birth Minerva. Oh, I learned that in one of my lectures. So he's like my aunt's dad? He's like my grandpa, sort of? Fearing that his own child would make him suffer the same fate as his father, Zeus ate Metis, who was pregnant at the time. Shortly after, Zeus suffered a tremendous headache and cracked open his own skull. Thus, Athena, or Minerva as I call her, was born. My brother's smart. He's powerful. He'd make the perfect Lord God. If only he wasn't so ambitious. Yeah, but he's not quite as hot as you. He's still kind of pretty, and his outfit is fabulous. But you're hotter. What's he aiming at? My brother said no other gods are needed but him. In other words, he wants to be the only god in the universe. Wait, so you mean he wants to eradicate all other gods? Yes, exactly. But divine power isn't supposed to be centralized, and there's a reason those powers are distributed among the gods. I never let him. Hence why we sealed him. The aftermath of that battle was later preserved in myth. But sealing him elevated me to the rank of Lord God. After the fall of Rome, temples were sacked, so fewer people believed in me. My brother was a better Lord God than I am. I'm only here because I'm Zeus's brother. I'm not even omniscient. I never knew he carried this weight on his shoulders. Unlike his other siblings, Jupiter grew up without being swallowed by Cronus. Instead, he developed a keen sense of danger, carefully avoiding Cronus at all costs. But that skill doesn't exactly translate to being a Lord God, making the conflict between him and his brother all the more complicated. Yeah, he's like, I can sense danger! Okay, Susie Hall Monitor, like, that's not helping. Truthfully, I think you make the perfect Lord God. What? It's like, huh? Well, think about it. Neptune rules the ocean, Pluto's got the underworld. They can't all be Lord Gods, can they? Well, sure. Dad's certainly too impatient, and Auntie's too free-spirited. Don't even get me started on Mom. Lord Mercury does his best to wrangle everyone together, and Lord Vulcan's kind of a loose cannon. Then Lord Apollo's got the whole vanity thing. Lady Diana seems kind of fastidious, which scares me, and Lady Vesta's too busy playing with her hearth to take any interest in humanity. In that sense, I think you're the most well-equipped to be the arbiter for mankind. Am I wrong? Gee, you make a good point. So, chin up! The road ahead of us might be tough, but there's only one way through. Forward! I don't know, I think a hasty retreat with our tails tucked between our legs might work too. Right, but how do we... Why, hello there, Arrows! I think she's dressed like Catherine. Mom, why are you here? On vacation? You got me, but I heard Mars was injured, so I came as soon as I could. Forgive me, I failed him. And don't fret, you look sexier with battle scars anyway. By the way, why are you two here? Zeus has revived. Excuse me! Unfortunately, it's true. Zeus attacked Celestia and he's plotting to kill all the gods this time. I tried confronting Zeus myself, but he's set up some kind of harsh barrier. He's got more to him than I thought. He might be a real diva, but he's an all-powerful deity after all. It might be the whole omniscient thing. But why did he revive now? 19 years ago, when Juno disappeared, Zeus and his seal also vanished, right? Since then, I always sensed his power faintly in the background, but it seems he'd been hiding out in the underworld. The underworld? But Pluto has dominion there! Pluto was nowhere to be found. Perhaps Juno ordered Zeus to devour him to break the seal. Pluto left all his divine artifacts to his wife, Persephone, so he was empty-handed. It might have happened right under our noses. Oh dear, oh dear. Are you suggesting that Pluto succumbed to Juno? You know Pluto. He's not much of a fighter. If Zeus devoured him, then his powers are Zeus's now. Well, that sucks. Is this why Pluto stopped being a planet? Everyone was like, all of a sudden, like, Pluto's not a planet. Poor Pluto. And Juno must have suffered the same fate. Oh my! Juno was eaten by Zeus too? No, I suspect Juno offered herself to him as a sacrifice to break the seal. Actually, not really. I see. Well, Juno always loved Zeus, jealous as she may be. It seems misguided to me. I fucking love Venus. Regardless, Zeus's return spells disaster for us all. I mean, after all the hubbub it took to lock him up in the first time. Shame on you, Juno! Love compels people to do crazy things, even gods. Came as a surprise to us all. But I don't think he's at full strength yet. It's only a matter of time. Until we're all dead, I guess. That's positive thinking. It's only a matter of time till we're all dead. Yeah, I mean, true, but, you know, as a human, it's only a matter of time till we're all dead. But, like, it's the power of positive thinking. Right. And the state of Celestia is proof of that. We must do whatever it takes to seal Zeus, but without some of our fellow DC, I'm not sure what options we have. We're talking about Zeus here, right? You know we don't stand a chance here. Mom's retort came out nonchalantly, contrary to the graveness of our circumstances. Then what do we do? I suppose we'll have to find a way to seal him again somehow with something he detests. Something he detests. My brother has no such obvious weakness. Oh, yes, he does. He hates love. Love? Well, then he shouldn't have been able to break out because Juno broke him out because she loved him. So that's just not piecing together in my brain. I love you, I'll break you out. As he shrivels and further back, and that should have sealed him harder. I'm just saying. Zeus has always been a stickler when it comes to love. I mean, look at his relationship streak. He ran from Juno, and that was his wife. Cleaning up after his mess for centuries must have rubbed off on you, right, Jupiter? Yeah, and because of our resemblance, I've dealt with all manner of abuse from countless women, not to mention the attacks. That explains his perpetual discomfort around women. I suddenly recalled a series of instances during my internship with Peter where he deliberately avoided interacting with the bridal advisors. Now that we know he hates love, how do we put that to use? You're the goddess of love, girl. Yeah, but I might die if I use my powers. I don't know. Pardon me, but I may have a suggestion. What? Professor Melville? Why are you here? Well, Zeus hasn't exactly made things easier for demons either. And that troublesome brother of yours has been eating some of the lesser demons, too. Professor Melville said as much with a shrug. Even incubi had principles. And just so we're clear, that's the former Lord God, is it not? Please, we've got nothing more than a petulant, gluttonous man-baby on our hands. I love Alan. Allowing him to continue his conquest spells trouble for the underworld, too. Professor Melville flashed a sly grin at Jupiter. Who would have guessed that the divine beast and the sensitive parasite himself were none other than the current god of all gods? Alan's like, pathetic. Forgive me. I just wanted to. Enough, I get it. In any case, it seems all of us share a common enemy in Zeus. Good cannot exist without evil, and neither can gods without demons. Disturbing the balance of our realms bears terrible consequences. Don't you dare! So I, a greater demon, offer you my aid. I see. Thank you. So what's this plan of yours? If we aim to seal this powerful god, it must be done with a being other than God. Perhaps a demon or a human. But it must be a being capable of producing the strongest love possible. Or perhaps multiple. Dare I say, and those who possess all 6 types of love. I like where this is going. Which is why it's ensemble, but also it's kind of cool that it was like, oh, you have to go down and learn all 6 types of love in order to be ready to become Juno, and oh, that's also how we're going to defeat Zeus. Bam! Captain Planet powers activate. All 6 types of... No way. All 6 love types. No way. In this way. The Parasite 6. Beautiful. I love this, but we have to stop here, so. This is going to be fun. Anyway. They're like, Raul's going to be the best at this. I can't wait for it. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.